Hello, welcome to the Warrior's Way. My name is Arno Ilgner. The lesson this week is how the climbing metaphor guides our New Year's resolutions. The end of the year is a convenient time for getting a fresh start. You're moving from the past year to a new year, and certainly you can do this anytime during the year, but this seems to be a time when it gives us a definitive break to really address how to move forward in a different way. And so setting New Year's resolutions can be helpful, especially if we put it in the structure of the climbing metaphor. The climbing metaphor has three components. First is goals. Number two is motivation, and number three is work. So let's go into each of these in a little more detail. With goals, there are two basic types. New Year's resolutions are very specific to your own situation, things that are personally important to you. But in general, we can have two different types of goals. We can have ones that are self-actualization, where we actualize more of our individual potential, and others that are transcendent, where we have goals to get a sense of ourselves in a larger context, like through relationships, you might say. And these come from Maslow's hierarchy of needs. They sit at the top of the pyramid. So with self-actualization, we could see these types of goals as something we're narrowly focused on, something personally that we want to achieve for ourselves. We can see these as coming from Joseph Campbell's hero's journey, where we're kind of on a solitary venture. But the transcendence goals, they come from Maureen Murdoch's heroine's journey, where we're looking for how to understand ourselves in a more collaborative way. And so both of these are important for the kind of goals that we want to set, or the New Year's resolutions. It's important to remember that the hero's journey and the heroine's journey are not gender dependent. We go on these kinds of journeys regardless of our gender. We have goals where we're narrowly focused on that are more hero-like, and we have goals that are more collaborative, that are more heroine-like. Goals start this process. They give us direction for where we want to go. And then the second part is motivation. It's like what's going to move us in the direction of those New Year's resolutions, those goals. Motivation moves us through the stress toward those goals. And we're going to have a tendency to want to go the easiest way. And that's not a bad thing, because it's very natural to want to do work the easiest way possible. We do that on a rock climb all the time. So we do seek the easiest way, but to make sure we don't get derailed, we hold those New Year's resolutions in our awareness while we're doing the work that leads us there. And number three is the work itself. So we need to relate to the work in a way that honors it. Okay, so for example, we don't do the work because it's good for us. Okay, we don't do the work because it'll help us achieve our goals. Both of those things are true, but it's a matter of attention. Okay, if we're doing the work as a means to an end, then we're going to be distracted toward the end instead of the means. So we need to do the work for its own sake. And if we do that, if we approach work in this way, honoring it in this way, then we're going to enjoy doing the work more, and that will sustain us more as we're working our way to those New Year's resolutions. All of this really points to valuing the learning process, like enjoying the learning process, engaging life as a learning endeavor. And what that means is that we need to expect the unexpected and trust in how life unfolds. If we're learning new things, through setting these New Year's resolutions and being motivated to do the work as we're moving in that direction, then we're going to have outcomes that are different than what we expected. So we need to adapt to that, and we adapt to it by trusting in how life unfolds. It's a really important warrior quality. So the climbing metaphor helps integrate everything that can help sustain us toward our New Year's resolutions. Being clear about what those New Year's resolutions are, the goal, gives us that direction. Knowing we're going to look for the easiest way to do the work for achieving those New Year's resolutions, keeping those in mind as we're doing the work so that our motivation is sustained, and doing the work for its own sake, then those three can come together in a helpful way to help us arrive at the end of the year where we planned in the beginning of the year. So as a practice tip, I found it helpful every day to create kind of a morning ritual. What I do is I go outside, kind of tune into the day. It's still dark, as the day is waking up, and I tune into what's going on around me, and I reaffirm, my goals, my New Year's resolutions, just to bring that into my awareness so that then during the day, I can guide my motivation and the way I do the work over and over again. I can hold those goals, those New Year's resolutions in my awareness as I'm doing the work, and constantly noticing if I'm doing the work for its own sake so I can enjoy it, or if I'm slipping into doing the work kind of just to get it over with, or just as a means to an end. Big distinction in how you approach it. So you can go to warriorsway.com, get the full lesson, the text and the audio. You can check out our books and courses, and reach out to us if you'd like to investigate the way we approach mental training. We'd love to work with you. Thanks.